you gonna hate on the industry when your auntie has a whole leak tape busting it down?
Back with our trash news segment of the week, the Kardashians are once again under controversy because Alabama Barker is now hypocritically dragging women on the internet for what they do for a living because she's a rich Nepo baby, so she doesn't have to care. And yes, this all ties back again to the cheating scandal that she was involved with Bhad Bhabie. And I also think I have the answer to Kim Kardashian's super disturbing Santa baby video that she released that we all agreed to politely ignore. Which I did. I did not cover it or ask any questions, but I do think it ties in here. So in case you don't know who Alabama Barker is, she is the child of Travis Barker, who is a member of Blink-182, and is currently married to Kourtney Kardashian, which despite their best attempts now officially makes her part of the Kardashian clan. And she's really the perfect example of like these rich people just raised these kids that are running around just oh my goodness, I can't even. Where we're at is that these two women keep going absolutely wild on the internet. They are sharing DMs, they are going live, they're throwing accusations back and forth. Posts keep getting put up and then immediately erased. But where we're at right now is Bhad Bhabie just confessed that she actually cheated first. Another celebrity you might know as Chief Keef, but here's exactly what she's saying happened. First, I think it's important to note that in this whole timeline, Bhad Bhabie has just had a baby and she's been fighting cancer. That's already a really rough place to start at. So apparently all of this started because there was a night where Bhad Bhabie and her boyfriend LV, as they refer to him as, got drunk and ended up fighting. It sounds like there's a lot of allegations of this man being very abusive. So apparently then she calls Chief Keef or Sosa to come and pick her up. He must not have answered because when he calls back, her boyfriend LV answered the phone. This made him even more upset. Which she then recalls that he busts her lip, he breaks her phone, and then he smashes her hand in a door. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty safe reason to be leaving. So she calls Sosa, he comes and picks her up, takes her back to his place, and has his doctor fix her up. And then her boyfriend found out her location and decided to leave for a few weeks. And in those few weeks, that is when allegedly he met Alabama Barker. And then unfortunately, the two of them get back together, but then she notices one day randomly that Alabama has unfollowed her on everything, and that kind of spills the beans on all of this. And there's of course some questions on whether or not it's ongoing. So she talks to Alabama. Alabama swears they never had sex and said that he lied to her about who she was. And I love that excuse because Bhad Bhabie points out he literally has my name tattooed on his neck. Like, that's pretty hard to miss. You would know it when you see it. Like, yeah, that's someone wearing a giant name tag and being like, I don't know your name. Like, that's not a great alibi for the story. It's important to remember, Bhad Bhabie was postpartum and had cancer. Alabama Barker, just turned 18. Lee Vaughn is 26 years old and allegedly very physically harmful. There's really only one large loser here, and I think we know who he is. Here's where the drama has gotten a lot worse over the last few days. This woman named Camilla comes into the picture, who is a very famous certain sort of model, if you get what I'm saying. She exists on a place that I believe is only for AC units. But she's very famous apparently, and she's involved with this influencer house, I guess it's called the Bop House. Given the name, I didn't do too much further digging on this because as an older Gen Z, I've already learned too much about younger culture at this point in the deep dive. But moving on, Camilla made a joke about recruiting or something for this house, and someone commented that they should get Alabama Barker to join. And then in a video that I believe was supposed to be a joke, she said that she's not going to do that because Alabama Barker's a homewrecker, and then her friend comes up and is like, hey, didn't you do the exact same thing? And she's like, oh, I gotta go. I believe that was the joke of it. But then, of course, Alabama Barker says, I would actually never. And that's fair. The joke was made in poor taste, but now an all-out war has started. So Alabama Barker decides to get on live. And that's when she starts dragging these women. And then specifically people in her comments section start pointing out, aren't you a Nepo baby? And she says, that's right. And I'm proud of being a Nepo baby, which isn't a bad start. Because you know what I always say? I mean, one, good on you for acknowledging that you're a Nepo baby. And two, you can't control what family you're born into. It's all about what you do with the opportunities that you're given in life. So for a moment, she's hitting it out of the park. And then she says, well, I'd rather be a Nepo baby than selling, that sort of stuff on the internet. And then essentially she starts dragging and belittling anyone who makes that sort of content at all. And she makes it clear she thinks she's so much better than anyone who does that kind of work. And allegedly, she doubled down on it on another post that is gone now. And so a lot of people start pointing out how wildly hypocritical this is of her. For starters, let's be honest, a lot of her fame now is tied to the fact that she's part of the Kardashian crew. And we all remember how Kim Kardashian really sent them all to stardom, right? By making the kind of content, Alabama thinks that she's better than, but she's actually just riding off of the fame from the trajectory of that event. And then people take it a step further and bring up Alabama Barker's literal mother, who also has a profile on that platform, where she literally makes that content. How are you going to be a proud Nepo baby when you think you're even better than the people who have Nepo'd you? And how does this tie back to the creepy Santa baby video that Kim Kardashian dropped on IG and no one can figure out why or what it means? I mean, first of all, if you like funny content, you should just check out my IG instead. I think it's way better. Well, a lot of people guessed it's because Kim Kardashian hasn't really been in any headlines in quite a while, so it was just a desperate attempt at grabbing attention. And sort of, you're pretty close with that guess, but here's my guess. Yes, I will agree that I think it was a desperate attempt for attention, but I think the more important part is that it was to distract from what's been happening, and that's two things. One is obviously Alabama Barker has been going viral every other day with really bad press for their family. And two, everyone was quite upset again after she posted her soft launch again for what's happening here with all of those Tesla products. And why is this unfortunate family still always stuck on my radar? Well, thanks for asking. This phrase is brought to you by the phrase total global oligarchy. That's when a bunch of rich people come together and they own the entire globe. And I'd like to let it be noted that this family is always really quiet until this guy reappears, and then suddenly they're always very active. Oligarchy, when a very small group of privileged people control most of the power. And it's important to keep note of who's lining up for that.